In 2023, we had the chance to try out some of the most amazing free-to-play games. So now, as we are in early 2024, I thought now is the perfect time to go through the 20 of the best free-to-play game recommendation, especially if you are just starting out as a PC gamer in 2024, or if you're just looking for the best free-to-play games to try out right now. I got you covered in today's video. And today's list is purely based upon my personal recommendation, and I'll try to include a lot of newly released free games released in 2023, as well as a couple of classic free games that still worth mentioning in early 2024. So guys, without wasting any time, let's get right into it. Alright, starting today's list with a pretty cool little arcade racing game which is pretty popular on Steam right now, and that is the Disney Speedstrom. It's a super fun action-packed combat racing game where you can simply jump in with your favorite Disney and Pixar characters and challenge other players online for a thrilling arcade racing experience. It's an extremely fun racing game to play with your friends or family when you have a free time, and the game also does support local multiplayer via split screen, which is pretty awesome in 2024. Alright, moving on from arcade racing game to a super realistic military simulation style of a game, and that is the Operation Harsh Doorstop. Yes, I know this hardcore tactical military first-person shooter genre is not for everyone, especially if you're coming from more casual first-person shooters like Call of Duty. But if you're someone who really enjoys this type of combat simulation style of a games, there is absolutely no better free-to-play alternative than the Operation Harsh Doorstop. And the game recently got a massive update with adding new vehicles and animation to the game. And on top of all that, the game does support incredible amount of mods which you can easily install via the Steam Workshop, one of the best up and coming free games right now, so I recommend you guys to give it a try. Alright, next up we got a brand new free-to-play game which is released about a couple of weeks ago, and that is the game called Hooked. It's a completely free-to-play PvP/PvE extraction style of a shooter. Honestly, a genre that is very hard to come by these days, especially when it comes to free-to-play market. In this game, you simply have to squad up with your pals and explore this mysterious island. Along the way, fight with different enemies, different bosses, and also you have to solve tons of environmental puzzles while collecting different valuable ancient treasures and successfully escape from the island. Overall, it's a very nice looking game. I recommend you guys to give it a try. Palia is a brand new free-to-play MMO style of an action RPG where you can simply co-op with your friends and literally do anything that you want in this beautiful, colorful fantasy world. The game has very simple mechanics which is very easy to learn, and you can do crafting, build your own base, cooking, fishing, farming. Overall, I would say it's a very relaxing, kind of cozy simulation style of an action adventure game. And remember, right now the game is only available on Epic Games Store, and it will be coming out on Steam sometimes 2024. Alright, next up we got an extremely simple, really fun single-player puzzle game called Handshakes. This game is honestly very simple. All you gotta do is somehow beat all the hurdle and find a way to shake both hands, and you can either play single player and handle both hands by yourself, or you can invite another friend and start playing split screen co-op, which makes this even more fun to play. Honestly, there is no surprise the game is right now having overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam, so if you're looking for a fun casual game to kill sometimes, I recommend you guys to give it a try. Alright, let's say if you have a pretty low-end computer in 2023 but you're looking for a fun free-to-play first-person shooter just like Call of Duty, Combat Masters is one of the best games you should absolutely play right now. It's an extremely popular first-person shooter among low-end PC gamers because this game literally can run on any type of potato system, and compared with most of the modern-day Call of Duty games, Combat Masters have pretty similar game modes, extremely fun gunplay and movement, and they even had a brand new Battle Royale mod with the most recent update. So if you haven't played this game already, now is probably the best time to do so. Alright, next up we got one of my favorite games on our today's list, and that is the One Armed Robber. But so far the game is having very positive reviews and extremely popular right now on Steam. It's extremely fun, chaotic first-person co-op game where you can simply squad up with your friend and pulling off different heists on different banks, shops, and various type of establishments. But as the name suggests, you can only use one of your hands to do all the work. Makes this game one of the most unique and one of the most funniest games you can play right now on Steam. Initial release back in January last year, Treason is one of the most unique party-based RPG style of games that I've recently tried out. It's a mystery detective style of a game combining with bit of a first-person action, and in this game you got two groups, innocent and traitors. As an innocent, you have to look for the clues and find out who's behind the murderer, and if you are from the group of traitors, you have to take all the innocents down before they find out what's going on. Overall, it's a very fun multiplayer game to try out, especially if you got bunch of friends to play alongside with you. If someone asked me to recommend a good free-to-play third-person to play in 2024, the game that I'm gonna recommend is the game called Caliber. It's a super awesome free-to-play squad-based tactical third-person shooter which represents typical PvP multiplayer game mode alongside a super impressive PvE co-op game modes as well. The game does have a class system which include assault, support, medic and marksman, and on top of all that the game does represent 70 different operators which has unique abilities and skills which you can select and master according to your personal playstyle. Overall, it's a really awesome game, definitely one of the best third-person shooters you can play right now. Alright, next up we got a pretty popular game that I feel like needed to give a bit of a boost in this video, and that is the Halo Infinite. Yes, the game had a lot of up and downs over the years, but with the recent update, the recent changes that they add to the game, I would say right now the game is in a pretty decent state. I know this because I recently downloaded the game again and tried out myself, and I surprisingly had a fun time with it. Now there are tons of game modes they added to the game. They are very fun to play alongside bunch of classic maps as well. And also the game is pretty popular on Steam right now, having close to like 7,000 daily concurrent players, which is pretty good. So if you want to jump back into the game, now is probably the best time to do so. Omega Strikers is a super fast-paced arena style 3v3 sports game where you literally have to squad up with your friends and challenge other players, other teams online, and simply score goals to win the game. On paper the game looks pretty simple and pretty arcadey, but definitely there are some strategies involved with it which you need to learn and master in order to be good at the game. Overall, it's a really awesome multiplayer game that you don't want to miss out in 2024. Alright, next up we got a brand new battle royale game that got so much popular last year, and right now the game needs absolutely no introduction, that is the Farlight 84. But looking at the gameplay, you might suggest this is more like a knockoff version of Fortnite. Yes, in terms of graphics they are very similar, but there are some certain differences when it comes to gameplay. You guys know the Fortnite is heavily focused on the building mechanics, but on Farlight 84 the game is main focus on the characters with unique abilities and the vehicular combat. Overall, it's a very nice addition as a free-to-play battle royale game, and definitely a game that you can run even with a very low-end system in 2024. Gatekeeper Eclipse is one of the most unique games on our today's list. It's a free-to-play action-packed fast-paced roguelike top-down shooter where you fight tons of battle machines in this roguelike environment while you're searching for the stolen heart of the universe. It's a game that you can both enjoy single player as well as online co-op with your friends, and you can easily run the game even with a low-end system in 2024. Initial release back in 2013, Warframe is a game that's still kicking off to this date with a massive number of concurrent player numbers and still getting new content, new updates to the game, making this game one of the best free-to-play co-op games you can play right now. The main reason why I'm recommending Warframe as a free-to-play co-op game compared to some of the other games like Destiny 2, purely based on the free-to-play experience. There is no pay-to-win element here. You don't have to buy previous expansions or DLC in order to enjoy the game. It's just a great game to pick up and play, and the game has a great campaign, awesome story you can enjoy with another friend on co-op. So I highly recommend you guys to try out on Warframe even in 2024. Alright, next up we got a pretty underrated free-to-play vehicular combat style of a game called Crossout, and honestly I haven't seen a lot of people talking about this game recently, even though the game is still relatively popular on Steam. It's a free-to-play post-apocalyptic massive multiplayer action game where you can literally craft your unique battle machine and simply upgrade them, customize them, and challenge other players online for explosive PvP battles. It's an extremely fun and creative game, remind me of some of the games like Mad Max, and still relatively popular on Steam, having close to like 5,000 daily concurrent players. Definitely a nice game to try out even in 2024. Alright, moving on, next up we got a battle royale game that got super popular back in 2023, and that is the game called Naraka Blade Point. It's a free-to-play super unique battle royale game which heavily focuses on the martial art combat and melee fighting. Honestly, is something that we haven't seen in the battle royale genre. Actually, the game was initially released back in 2021 as a paid game, but few months ago the game went completely free to play. Since then the game has continued to grow in popularity. Right now it's blowing up on Steam, having close to like 250,000 daily concurrent players. So if you're looking for an extremely unique battle royale experience, Naraka Blade Point is a game that you should absolutely want to try out right now. Alright, next up we got a game that have overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam right now, and that is a game called Try Again. It's a free-to-play single-player puzzle platformer game with a very unique storyline. In this game you play as a character called Binny, who is a test character who's trapped in this unfinished video game, and in this final day you have to navigate through the game, dodge and platform your way through all the challenges, and ultimately select as the main character of the game. Even though it's a puzzle platformer game, the game has a pretty cool story, and I absolutely recommend you guys to try this game out. Alright, next up at number 3 we got Valorant, and you guys might notice whenever I mention Valorant in one of my free game recommendations, I probably kept it at so far high in the list, and some people absolutely hate it and they comment like, bro, Valorant is so boring, people are so toxic. I mean, these are some of the personal issues that the people had with the game, but the reason why I put the game so far high in the list based upon the free-to-play experience compared to some of the other games. For an example, let's say if you want to play Counter-Strike 2 as a free-to-play player, you will have to face tons of hackers and cheaters, even in the most competitive rank modes. But in Valorant, even as a beginner, you rarely face a hacker or cheater, so your overall experience is going to be much better with the game thanks to the super powerful anti-cheat that the game had. Overall, it's a great competitive shooter to play, especially in 2024. Alright, at number 2, we got another super popular, relaxing, casual game, and that is the Fall Guys. I really wanted to mention this game on our today's video because honestly, not a lot of people know the game went completely free to play after it vanishing from the Steam store. And remember, now you can only find the game on Epic Games Store. It's completely free now and does support cross-platforms, and overall it's a great party-based multiplayer game to play with your friends. Alright, at number 1 spot we got no surprises, probably the best free-to-play game released in 2023, and that is The Finals. It's a completely free-to-play arena-style fast-paced action first-person shooter where you and your team simply fight against other enemies over cash boxes in this virtual game show. It's hands down one of the most unique first-person shooters that I've played recently, and it's one of the first games to represent server-side fully destructible environment, and it is one of the key mechanics in this game. So if you're someone who really enjoys first-person shooters, this game is going to be a very refreshing and unique experience compared to some of the other games on the market, so I highly recommend you guys to give it a try, especially in 2024. Well, that's pretty much wrap up this video, guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video and found some great free-to-play game recommendation, especially to play in early 2024. And if you got more game suggestions, definitely go ahead and drop a comment down below as well. And as always, guys, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to go ahead and drop a like on it and also subscribe, because we are going to cover tons of free-to-play games on the upcoming months as well. I'll catch you guys soon in my next video. Stay safe.